Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior and welcome to another Mortal Kombat video. Now in today's history of breakdown and analysis, I'll be talking about the gunslinger from the west, Erron Black. Now Erron Black is still a somewhat newcomer to the series, making his debut in MKX along with a new generation of characters. Now the main reason as to why Erron Black did come into existence is due to the franchise being rebooted at the end of Mortal Kombat Armageddon. During the final clash between the forces of light and that of the darkness, the victor was none other than series antagonist Shao Kahn. Now thus, in order to prevent the events of Armageddon, a corrupted Dark Raiden would send a message to his past self in order to hopefully avoid these events. Now up to a certain extent, Raiden was successful in stopping Shao Kahn. However, due to the vague message that Raiden had received, there were many alterations to that of the rebooted timeline, which means many characters came into existence that never existed and many perished before their time. Now with the alterations made to the timeline, it created a ripple effect that allowed events to deviate from that of the original continuity. Now the history of Erron Black is in fact extremely vague. We don't know his actual origin story, only somewhat snippets and hints at what it could have been. Now first off, let's actually talk about the background of Erron Black. Now despite what many might believe, Erron Black actually derives from Earthrealm, and it's strongly insinuated that he is a relic of the Old West. This is strongly insinuated from how he does speak, and the dialogue he does exchange with different characters. Or maybe Erron Black's just a really strong Wild West enthusiast that doesn't quite understand that people don't talk that way anymore. Anyway, regardless of that, Erron Black seems to be an individual that does derive from that time period, as it was strongly hinted at in his own arcade ladder ending, where he made a deal with the sorcerer Shang Tsung that would in fact slow the aging process. However, this is not at all solid in stone, as it is an arcade ladder ending, but I feel like it's at least worth keeping in mind that the idea of this does exist. Now from some verbal exchanges in Mortal Kombat 11, it's believed that Erron Black had an extremely rough childhood, having a mother that would beat him to the point where he fought back and built up a lot of disdain towards her. On top of this, we do learn at some point that Erron Black did shoot his father, but the details as to why this happened are never actually disclosed, plus it's from some verbal intros, so we don't know how canonical they are. But for the sake of adding more layers to Erron Black as a character, I'd like to consider this part of his actual backstory. Now at this point, there is a huge gap between the events we know about here, as well as him becoming a gunslinger. We are somewhat unaware of where his love for this actually derives from. However, needless to say, Erron Black became one of the most dangerous humans alive when he had a gun in his hand. Now after honing his skills, it would earn Black many different jobs, but the one thing that Black enjoyed the most was the money he earned from his jobs and the thrill he got from it. Without it, Erron Black saw no interest in taking a job if there was nothing to offer him. Before the events of MK9, it seems like Erron had joined the Black Dragon, as before the events of MK9, the crime syndicate was at an all-time high, killing many innocents in order to score a lot of cash. Now, of Erron Black being a part of the Black Dragon, it would in fact draw him into the events of the Mortal Kombat tournament, where he's seemingly around during the MK2 section of MK9. But of course, as he was not created up until the events of MKX, we do not see him during the MK9 story mode. But it seems like Erron Black was perfectly fine working under Shao Kahn. However, when Shao was destroyed at the end of MK9, this is where alliances were severed and a massive rift was opened up in Outworld. With Outworld now absent of a Kahn, there were many different contenders that wished to have taken his place. Now right out the gate, Mileena was one of the individuals to fill that role. However, due to her extremely chaotic nature, she was slowly but surely driving Outworld into the ground, and Erron Black wasn't at all happy with this, so he decided to align himself with the main contender to the throne, an Oztec known as Kotal Kahn, one of Shao Kahn's generals. Now although Erron Black hadn't interacted much with Kotal at that point, the Oztec was infamously known for being a very charismatic leader and one that did get the job done, so he would take Kotal's side during the Outworld Civil War, of which they actually were successful of pushing Mileena to the outskirts. However, she was not completely out of the fray. Now due to the skill that Erron Black showed off during this skirmish, Kotal held him up in very high regard, even wanting him as a bodyguard, and for the most part Erron Black did fulfill that role extremely well. well. However, his greed does tend to get the best of him, as we will see during the Mortal Kombat X comic books. Now after Kotal gained control of Outworld, he did assist Earthrealm in fighting against the Netherrealm forces when Shinnok's mass invasion happened, and by the end of the conflict, it seemed like Earthrealm and Outworld were on good terms. However, this would all be thrown into disarray during the Mortal Kombat X comic book series. Now during the comic book run, Kotal was falling on desperate times. You see, their war with Mileena was still continuing to wage on, and many people were dying because of this. So he would travel to Earthrealm with D'Vorah and Erron Black in the hopes of being able to create a deal with them for their assistance in Outworld. However, Sonya denied them even the idea of this, as they didn't want Outworld's war spilling over to Earthrealm. Now because of this, tensions did run high, and a fight nearly does break out until Raiden does intervene. Now Kotal Kahn once again tries to preach his message to Raiden, but the Thunder God does sadly decline, and because of this they do return back to Outworld. But as this is going on, Erron Black does begin to have some doubts about Kotal's leadership, believing that the money will not be there for much longer. Now it's also around this time where Kano has some interest in bringing back Erron to the Black Dragon, and that was to capture Cassie Cage and Jackie Briggs and to sell them on the black market, as he was well aware about the prices on their heads. Now the plan for the most part was in fact a success, as Cassie and Jackie were captured by the Black Dragon. Now whilst they were being escorted through the Kotal jungle, Kano would offer Erron Black the opportunity to join the Black Dragons, but Erron Black would decline, saying that he simply couldn't stand to be around them. Now this is actually one of the retcons that Erron Black does have. Originally, since the comic books came out before Mortal Kombat 11 did, it was always implied that at no point in time that Erron joined the Black Dragon Syndicate at all. That was something completely new and added in Mortal Kombat 11. So in this case and instance, Erron Black isn't exactly a big fan of Kano. Now during their escort mission, things quickly turn sideways, as they are confronted by the Black Dragon rivals, the Red Dragons. Now when the Red Dragons realize who they have captured, they do want in on the deal, but seeing as the Black Dragons were their opposition, they decided to take it from them by force, and a massive battle does erupt. Black himself even frees Cassie and Jackie, saying he will set them free if they assist him, but understandably they aren't too happy about the situation they've been put in the first place, and they do fight back against everyone. It seems like the Black Dragons might have the upper hand, but Kano quickly betrays Erron, teleporting away and leaving him for Movado. Movado criticizes him for having any form of honor before cutting him down. It's here where he's strapped to a tree and basically left for dead. Now whilst this is going on, Cassie and Jackie are able to kill Movado, but they in turn are captured, so Erron Black is just left alone in the Kotal jungle. But fortunately for him, he doesn't die, as he's tracked down by the special forces and D'Vorah, who have caught word of him turning his back on Kotal. Now when he's brought before the Emperor, he does apologize to him, expressing his doubts about Kotal's rule. Now Kotal is hurt by this, but will not have Erron Black executed, instead deciding to have him be put in a dungeon underground. Now it's here where for the most part he is sidelined for a majority of the story, only appearing during the final few issues where the final battle is happening. Now you see, the entire plot of the Mortal Kombat X comic book series is to infuse powerful beings with Kamidoku daggers. By tainting them with blood magic, it makes them one of many vessels to summon Shinnok's amulet, and during the comic book run, Havoc is able to fool Reiko into becoming the catalyst and kills him in order to obtain the amulet. Now these Kamidogu daggers have ties to blood magic, which does increase the wielder's strength, but it also means they can be controlled, and that is what Havoc does by the end of the comics. He's able to control the likes of Raiden, Kotal Kahn, Mileena, Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, and countless others. Now when this is going on, Erron Black is freed from his cell and is given the opportunity to redeem himself by saving Kotal, and with the help of the Shogun as well as Kotal's other allies, he engages in battle, fighting against Havoc and his blood code infused warriors. Now for the most part he is able to hold his own, but unfortunately for him, he goes head to head against a blood powered corrupted Raiden and is electrocuted by the god. Now before Raiden can actually finish him off, Havoc's control would be severed, sparing everyone from his influence. Now despite being unconscious, Kotal believes that Erron Black has redeemed himself and reinstates his role as bodyguard, so when they do return back to Outworld, Erron Black is able to continue his life like nothing happened. Mortal Kombat X. Now during the events of the story mode, Erron Black does make a few appearances every here and there, never actually getting his own chapter. During the events of X, the Outworld Civil War is still going on, so Kotal is still battling Mileena, and during the second chapter of the game, as Kotal was being escorted to his fortress, they would be attacked by Mileena and her army. Now it's a very fierce battle, with Erron Black taking down many Tarkatans in his way. He is nearly successful in killing the demigod reign. Fortunately for the Edenian, Mileena is able to intervene and save his life. Now during the end of this conflict, it's here where they learn that Mileena has somehow managed to get hold of Shinnok's amulet, and she will plan on using it in order to kill Kotal Kahn. Now the power proves to be far too much for her, but she is teleported away before she can be captured, and this is where some turmoil somewhat brews between Outworld and Earthrealm. As you see at the end of the comic books, Kotal Kahn wanted Earthrealm to keep hold of the amulet as he believes that it would be safe in their hands. However, it seems like it's once again slipped out of their grasp into the hands of his enemy. Now during Kung Jin's chapter of the game, the special forces send out a team made up of Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, Kung Jin and Takeda, as they do wish for them to talk to Kotal to sort out a deal that will benefit both sides. However, they would be approached by Erron Black, who does warn them to return back home, because really as far as he was concerned, they had no business here. Now Cassie attempts to explain the situation to Erron Black, but Kung Jin bears witness to a public execution in progress, and by intervening, a massive fight does break out, with Erron Black taking on the likes of Kung Jin. Now unfortunately for the gunslinger, it seems like the Shaolin proved to be far too much for him, but before this battle can get any more out of hand, Devourer and Kotal Kahn do arrive, and after a very brief fight between Kung Jin and Kotal Kahn, they decide to have a meeting and talk about the current Mileena situation. Now Erron Black does somewhat disappear for a little bit around this time. Now when Mileena is stripped of Shinnok's amulet, she would be executed by Devourer under orders of Kotal Kahn. Now not wanting Earthrealm to continue making the same mistakes, he would have Cassie's team put on a boat so that they could remain prisoners until a deal was sorted out. Now it's also around this time where we learn that Devourer was in fact a secret agent of Shinnok, and thus does betray Kotal, stealing Shinnok's amulet for his resurrection. Now eventually Erron Black, Ermac and Reptile come across Devourer's victims, as they learn that she has in fact betrayed them. But this is also at the same time that Cassie and her team have managed to escape from the ship, so Erron Black is forced to go up against the likes of Takeda Takahashi in the hopes of stopping him and the rest of his allies. But the son of Kenshi proves to be far too much for him, and the cowboy does once again come up short. Now Erron Black does make his final appearance during the end half of the game, where Shinnok has been resurrected. Now Erron Black accompanies Kotal Kahn to the outskirts of the Sky Temple. As you see, Kotal believes that by killing Cassie's team and bringing their head to the feet of Shinnok, that it may buy them some time to strengthen Outworld's defenses, so they would once again clash with Cassie's team. But unlike before, with Kotal's army behind them, they are able to overpower the team, at least up until the Lin Kuei step in. So it does give Cassie and her team the opportunity to travel to the Sky Temple to confront and defeat Shinnok. Now the details are rather scarce about what exactly happened between the events of X and 11, as a few years have passed by, but it's strongly insinuated that any relationship Earthrealm and Outworld did have was now severed and gone. Mortal Kombat 11. Now you see, during the events of Mortal Kombat 11, due to Raiden tampering with the timeline, it altered and changed the vision of a deity known as Kronika. Now Kronika is the keeper of time, a titan that bends the fabric of reality to her will, but with Raiden constantly interfering with her own personal plans, it changed and altered her vision, and thus because of this, Kronika would in fact merge two different timelines together, that being the MK2 section of MK9 with the current present time being MK11, meaning that there will in fact be two different Erron Blacks running around. At the very beginning of 11's story, Erron Black is seen present at Kotal Kahn's Colosseum, where they're currently holding a captured collector to have him be executed in the arena, as the collector always opposed Kotal and his ideals and was still extremely loyal to Shao Kahn. Now before the Nakanada could be killed, Kronika would merge the two different timelines together, meaning that everyone present in Shao Kahn's arena from MK2 were now transported to the current era, meaning that a young Erron Black would also come through. Now at this point in time, might I remind you, this is the Erron Black who's loyal to Shao Kahn and the Black Dragons, as he is still on their payroll. Now understandably, there is a bit of a confrontation here, as there's a lot of friction between Shao Kahn and Kotal, with Shao not being happy that someone like Kotal did replace him. So a fight does break out, and the young Erron Black does at one point battle the current Kotal Kahn, but his ambitious and arrogant nature does get the best of him, as he is swiftly defeated by the Emperor. Now after this, Kotal was also successful in defeating Shao Kahn, but before they could all be executed, Kronika with assistance from Devourer would intervene, giving Erron Black and his allies the opportunity to escape from Outworld. It's here in the Kaitin High where Shao Kahn and his allies would be approached by Kronika and give them all an opportunity to build a new era and new world if they assisted her in removing Raiden and his allies from the timeline. Now it's here where the younger Erron Black plays more of a role in the story than the older one, as the story does progress, the Black Dragons lead a massive assault on the Special Forces headquarters, with the two Kanos and Erron Black leading the charge. Now during this massive assault, many Spec Op operatives are killed, as Erron is relentless with a rifle in his hand. It's only up until he's confronted by an older Johnny Cage, to which he's then stopped. But despite the Special Forces' best efforts, they are defeated, and Johnny Cage with Sonya Blade are captured by Kano. Now the reason why they've done this is so they can take them to the Black Dragon Fight Club and have them battle each other to the death, as it will understandably amuse all of them. But this quickly falls into disarray when the Special Forces do fight back, with Cassie Cage leading the charge. Now the young Erron Black is present during this battle and does gun down as many enemies as he can, with him in fact nearly being successful in killing the young Johnny Cage. But luckily for the movie star, Sonya is able to intervene, defeating the young Erron Black and seemingly putting him out of action, as this incarnation of the character isn't seen for the rest of the story. The older Erron Black on the other hand does make his final appearance during the end of the game, as you see after Kitana is successful with uniting the Tarkatan forces with the Shokan army. They storm Shao Kahn's fortress and are able to defeat the Emperor, with the older Erron Black being present here. But this is in fact the last time we do see the character canonically, and we do not really know what's happened with him due to how somewhat ambiguous MK11's ending is, with Liu Kang and Kitana now being the keepers of the hourglass. So with the ability to rewrite time at their fingertips, anything could happen and anything is possible. But for now, this has been the history of Erron Black. I hope you have enjoyed this video and learnt more by doing so. Erron Black has always been one of my favourite new generation characters, as his overall design is nothing short of fantastic. And I mean, a gunslinger cowboy from the West being put into a Mortal Kombat game is still pretty damn cool on paper. But yeah guys, that's basically everything I did want to say here. Now there are way more videos on the horizon, so please do keep an eye out. And before this video does wrap up, if possible, let's try getting it to about 500 likes. It's honestly the best way of supporting this channel. And also do not forget to tick that bell, as it will notify you when I do make a video. But yeah guys, that's it for now. So as always, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I will see you all next time.